Hello there, and you're welcome to CNR Extra on Citi TV. My name is Philip Ni Latte. Coming up, some residents of Mamobi demonstrate against planned demolition of structures belonging to encroachers by the Ayawaso North Assembly.
Almost about 10,000 people living in that very particular place. Why should you say that you are come to reject all these people? Where are they going? There are some people, pregnant women, sick.
And also members of the Citi Response Task Force suspend their work over allegations of interference in their operations.
We are hearing certain things and we are even having evidence that some of our political leaders are trying to calm down this job. That's Moses Abo by name. That's the greater graduate organizer. And we are not going to sit there for this thing to happen.
Also, Ghana Union of Traders suspended its planned shop closure on Monday following a meeting with the Council of States.
Call of the strike immediately. There's a joint committee set up by members of the council and their representatives.
And still on CNR Extra, Kumasi Traditional Council orders closure of Oyerepa FM over comments made by leader of United Progressive Party on their network. We are grateful for joining us on CNR Extra as conversational, and you can join us with your comments and contributions on WhatsApp on 0550585832. And to do the conversation with me is Jude Duncan. Jude, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Philip.
Let's move straight to our first story. And some residents of Mamobi demonstrated yesterday because they are not excited about a planned demolition exercise that the Ayawaso North Assembly is earmarked or about to commence or do on a particular land that the encroachers are on currently. Let's watch in this video.
So the demonstration is pretty much beginning from this park here in Mamobi. It is the demonstration by community members opposed to a demolition exercise planned by the municipal assembly. They are here in their hundreds seeking to register their particular protest against the action of the local government here. The placards summarizing what they're saying: Mr. President, fulfill your promise to us. Come to our aid, Mr. President. And even though they're mentioning the president, this is an issue that perhaps has to do with their municipal chief executive. They seem not very happy with the municipal chief executive and assembly based on a demolition exercise that is planned here. With demolition exercise is yet to take place, but we have been told that the all clear has been given for it to take place. We are still following this demonstration by residents of the Mamobi area who are against a demolition exercise that is expected to happen here. They have massed up on the street and demonstrating. We've reached Kotobabi now, continuing to the Obra spot at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, where the demonstration is going to terminate. Let me just bridge and join the people who are organizing this particular one. For someone who is watching you now and wondering why you are walking this morning, explain to them in summary what the difficulty.
The reason why we are doing this demonstration is purposely for against demolition that Ayawaso North Municipal Assembly want to do. We thought we are not being treated fairly. The way and manner they want to approach for them to achieve their land. That's why we are doing peaceful demonstration. Thank you.
So you agree that the land is not for you, but there are some things that have to be done?
Nobody is litigating that the land belongs to us. Nobody is litigating that the land belongs to us. What we are saying is that we have presided on the land since 1967. So if you want to evacuate us, at least get some nice package for us. Nice package. Communicate with us nicely. We are human beings. We are Ghanaians. We are not foreigners. But just to give us 21 days notice to evacuate, we totally disagree.
So they don't discuss anything about compensation or anything?
No any form of discussion. No any form of discussion. They use their power to bully us. That's why we are doing this demonstration.
Okay, but if the property belongs to the government said, I want to take my thing back, why would that be a problem?
That's why I told you earlier on that we are not disputing that fact. But we are Ghanaians.
The people are still walking, and they are continuing with this march all the way to the Obra Sport at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, displaying various placards, trying to send a message targeted at the president, who seems to be their priority, even though this is a local issue. Now, in the sea of the people who are demonstrating, I spotted that some people are holding some papers. I'm not sure what these papers are about. Let me just approach, and let me just approach this man. What paper are you holding?
That is the rent. Yeah. The rent that we've been paying.
You've been paying rent?
Yes, so, rent that they made there.
Explain more.
We are saying that they have allowed us, they brought their container there, and we are paying the rent. This is the rent, the receipt. These are some of the receipts.
So for how long?
Since 1967 up to date.
So what point are you trying to prove with this?
We are saying that they have given us only 2 weeks to reject from the land. That they are coming to do a project over there. And we are not prepared. At this critical situation, there is no money anywhere. Why should they reject us from the land?
Can we just stand here? So this is the Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
Yes,
it's a receipt.
Yes.
That was issued to you.
Yes.
And this was in 2009.
Yes.
And then there's another one, 2010.
Yes.
So you're saying that because of this is justification enough that you should not be removed from the place?
What even it's not all this. These are some of it. But most of the receipts are there up to date. The receipts are there. You get me? Since we are paying. And if you are saying that you want the land for your own work, at least come to talk to the people. We are not your enemies. Almost about 10,000 people living in that very particular place. Why should you say that you are come to reject all these people? Where are they going? There are some people, pregnant women, sick children, even the old men. They have nowhere to go. How can you just wake up? We are not your enemies. Hamza, are you not among us? You came to promise that we should, vote for you. You are not going to reject us. Why are you coming to reject us now? Is it the best?
But the receipts that you have, is it for shop or is for house? Because maybe the assembly give you a receipt for a shop.
No. You see, the whole place, they have make it as a market area. You get me? That we should be saying there to pay our receipt and everything. You get me? So most of the people, they have conveyed the place as a residential area. Not a container, not a shop. You get me? Because most of the people, they are not selling over there. And they say that it's Kaswa Kula. Do you understand Kaswa Kula? Kaswa is what? Market. And Kula, do you understand Kula?
No.
Kula is flies.
Oh, Kaswa Kuda.
Kaswa Kuda.
So the market of flies?
Yes, market of flies.
So why do you have to build a house in the market of flies?
And so because we have nowhere, when Achampo came and he was rejecting the people over there, they've directed some of the people to come there and then just to stay there. He said the place was so horrible. We have to come and prepare the place and do that.
How long have you been living here yourself?
I'm living there since 1985.
So you have your own house?
Yes, please. I have my own living place. It's a store, and then we make it a renting place.
It's true the place is for the government, but all we want is a little time for us to move out. Let's assume we are also Ghanaians, we are citizens. Even when foreigners came to Ghana, they were given a place to stay. So what happens to us as citizens? So at least they should allow us for a couple of time. At least there should be a correct negotiation. But this one, go. It's not fair.
How much time is small time for you?
Let's assume 2 years, 3 years, fine.
That's too much. They want to develop the place. They want to make Accra beautiful. And they're saying that your consistent staying there or continuous stay there is hindering that plan.
Okay, are they giving us a place?
They said that the land is not even for you in the first place. So there's no need to compensate you for something you have quote and unquote stolen.
We are not disputing that. It's true.
So you have a house there as well?
Yes.
How many bedrooms?
4.
How long have you built it for?
It's my dad's place.
So you came to
My dad is passed, my mom is dead. A widow, sick, stroke in the room now. So you can imagine what is happening. And I'm not the only person in that situation. A whole lot.
The story is still continuing. It is the demonstration against the demolition of the Kasson Kuda 2 house awards. I mean, a market of flies where these people have been living for all these decades, and they are now being told to evacuate by the local assembly. And the reason is that there's an intention to develop the area, and they do not accept that. They want some compensation and some time given them to prepare themselves for the movement. This is Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. My name is Umaru Sandamadu. Fred Duho of the Citi Newsroom has been covering this story for some time now. Fred, so is it their houses that are going to be demolished, or their market? Because we see that it's a market that should be demolished. So why are they worried?
So there are houses now located within the market. I understand this land was acquired in the 1960s and purposely designated for market. But over time, people started settling in there, and now they are now living there more like a residential place.
Where is the area of the demolition? Where is the demolition going to affect?
So to paint a mental picture, that would look like more like 4 football pitches put together. And it starts from the corner here all the way to the Mamobi Polyclinic here.
So this is Abavana Road, that's the name of this street.
Exactly the case. So it goes down all the way to a mosque somewhere here. And that should tell you that all these houses, story building that you see here, a number of newly built homes here are all going to be affected should the demolition take place.
The demonstrators have finally come to the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, the Obra spot, which is the end point for this particular demonstration, making their case, and they're going to deliver a petition which they're actually holding. We'll be waiting to see which official is going to collect it. The assembly member is going to lead them to deliver that particular petition which they have brought against the municipal assembly. The petition, though, has not been delivered. We're told there was nobody to deliver. The leaders are still here after the... So we noticed that you have a petition with you, but you've not been able to deliver it. What happened?
Well, we are still waiting. But we don't want the crowd to be here so that it will trigger to add another thing. So therefore, it's best to their various places, which is the community. But we are still waiting. They will come for it.
So you're waiting for someone. Who do you expect to come and receive the petition?
Well, we don't know the person actually, but they have assured us that we should wait. They are coming.
So this is from the presidency?
Yes, of course.
What is the content of the petition? You are asking for more time?
I cannot disclose that one to you because it's something that we want only the president to read it. It's our concern. I cannot disclose this to the public.
But why don't you give it to the president's who is the MC in your area, MCE?
We don't trust him.
Why don't you trust him?
He is battling with us. It's not nice with me. It's not nice with the community people. He chair meetings. He doesn't invite me.
Where is your member of parliament? Is he on your side, or he agrees that there should be a demolition?
He's on our side. He's also doing his best.
So you've spoken to your MP?
Yes, of course.
Yesterday, some chiefs addressed a press conference and said that you don't have a case. What do you say to that?
We have a case. It's their selfish interest. That's why they are saying that. We have a case.
That's the assembly member for the electoral area who has actually led his people to come and demonstrate. He tells us that the member of parliament is on their side. They're waiting for someone from the Jubilee House to come and receive their petition. The crowd, though, has been demonstrating, has dispersed, and that would actually bring to an end our coverage here from the Obra Sport, the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. My name is Umaru Sandamadu.
Jude, I would say this is a problem, and a big problem, because if this land was acquired by an executive instrument in 1963, and it hasn't been developed till now, it has a lot of people encroaching it. Now the demonstrators are asking for more time. By more time, that means you're still going to have a lot more people encroaching this land.
Yeah, that is true when you put it that way. And for me, I've always maintained that every government intervention or initiative that is aimed at solving a problem in society, be it try to curb flood, try to ensure that spatial planning is done in an appropriate manner, I'm all for any of such interventions, provided it's done within the remits of the law. Now, if you look at this particular issue at Mamobi, the good thing for me is that the residents actually agree to the fact that those lands do not belong to them. And over time, they've just sort of come on the place and taken up and built up structures over there, making their movement out of the place quite difficult. But if you look at the situation and you listen to some of the residents in the place, I think they're just asking for a little grace and a little empathy on the part of government. Because, I mean, like you're saying, the executive instruments that sort of gave out the land to government was in 1963, some about 50, 60 years ago. And now you are now coming back to say that they should all of a sudden just give out their livelihoods, because people have stores there, people have sheds there, people have built structures that are drawing some revenue.
But this brings to the problem, because if we have authorities engaging the residents that if you are purchasing the land at that particular area and it's stated out there it's government's land, I don't think that going forward we are going to have this issue, because like you indicated, you are going to demolish structures there. Somebody may have taken some 20 years, 30 years to put up the exact structure you are demolishing, and at the end of the day, where are they moving to? Because somebody's livelihood, like you indicated, has been there for quite some time. So I think that going forward, if these authorities should sit down, maybe quote and unquote aloof, and watch people settle down at these places, and at the end of the day you are come to demolish their structures, nobody will subscribe to that. Look at what happened at CSIR, where lands for the research institute was taken by individuals, and when the regional minister went there to demolish, you could tell that people don't even know where they acquired the lands from. So you should know that as an authority you should get into the shoes of the residents, that okay, by the end of say 50 years, if the land is not developed and people take over that land, it's going to be very difficult for it to get back to government.
I mean, land issues in this country is quite very tough and very difficult to discuss because of the sentiment and the value it has. But I mean, some people have also opined that for the over 5,000 inhabitants on the land in Mamobi, the market area, for instance, they don't deserve any compensation because
they are encroachers.
Because they are encroachers at the end of the day. And to be fair, it's not only happening in Mamobi. In many other parts of the country, issues of land encroachment is a big thing. But like I'm saying, it's just a little more sympathy. I don't think 3 weeks is enough a period to expect that all of these people would vacate and relocate, especially considering everything that is happening in the country right now. They also asked for 3 years. 3 years too, I'm not too sure if that is
too much a time
for like them. I'm saying, a little more conversation. Their MC appeared to be not in touch with them. There seems to be some friction.
From what the assembly member said.
From what the assembly member is saying. So we expect a stakeholder conversation, and we expect that at the end of the day, government will listen to their plea, and there should be some mitigation in terms of reaching a considerable agreement on the matter.
So government should meet them halfway so that they will resolve this issue amicably. And also authorities in charge of monitoring and checking our lands and people acquiring it, please make sure that they don't acquire it on government lands, so that at the end of the day we are not going to have issues like this. From one problem to another problem, because members of the Citi Response Team Task Force, they were commissioned some few months ago by the regional minister, and they are asked to suspend their work over an allegation of interference by some official in government. Take a look at this video.
The Citi Response Team Task Force have suspended their work over allegations of interference in their operations. The group massed up this morning at the Operation Clean Your Frontage Secretariat in Accra and alleged that the Greater Accra Regional Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Moses Abo, is sabotaging their work. Hence, the call on them by the Secretariat to halt the work. Citi News' Nia Ikwe Okain has more.
The Operation Clean Your Frontage program was initiated by the government to help deal with the insanitary conditions in Accra. To aid in this, about 900 members of a Citi Response Team Task Force were deployed to enforce the sanitation bylaws under the policy. The officials were also expected to clamp down on trading along the city's major streets and indiscriminate parking. However, not much seems to have changed despite the intervention. Members of the task force on Thursday marched up at the secretariat at Asylum Down in Accra over allegations of sabotage from the Greater Accra Regional Youth Organizer, Moses Abo.
We are in to make sure sanity is prevailed. If we come to you, we talk to you in a very polite way, but we move you from the road to the pavement. We are not in to harass anybody. If there is traffic, we make sure the traffic flow in the right direction. But we are hearing certain things and we are even having evidence that some of our political leaders are trying to calm down this job. That's Moses Abo by name. That's the Greater Accra Youth Organizer. And we are not going to sit there for this thing to happen.
We should cope with the people and then tell them to keep them very clean. Don't allow human trafficking. And now that's what we are doing. We are not taking people's things. And they have sent it to air that we are taking people's things. We are annoyed and we cannot allow that. They can't allow us to go hungry.
But who called you here this morning?
This morning we were called from the secretariats that we should come and meet here. We have a meeting with our minister. And as I can see, our father is annoyed and he can't meet us till now.
We heard them talking on the radio station that we are Abaye, but rather we are not Abaye. If you go to Medina, I work at Medina Municipal. If you go there, we are not Abaye. We make sure every place is clean and we are the city response team. We have the Abaye at Medina Market and we are not Abaye. But rather because of politics, others want to spoil the work and they want to dismiss us in the work. So we are not here just to talk. We want to go there and go and explain it to the whole Ghana.
So members of Operation Clean Your Frontage or the task force aren't excited about this because it's having a toll on their work. And I can attest to it because when I was driving to work this morning, normally at Circle, Kwame Nkrumah Circle, you find these people managing the traffic situation there. But this morning, they aren't there. And the chaos there has increased because vehicles or the trotro drivers will just have to park anywhere and just offload or take in or get passengers on board and all that. And it's becoming a big challenge. I think that something should be done about this.
I mean, it's true. And if you look at it carefully or how we've gone about our politics really in the country at the local level, you realize that placing party interest and even provincialism has to a large extent been the bane of this country. A lot of the time, the intent is perfect. The reason behind the move by government is great. But at the end of the day, when it sort of affects negatively a particular interest group, then that is where this resistance comes. So it's unfortunate that they have to deal with this particular instance. We understand that certain people within government are not too happy with how their confrontation of market women, considering the electoral fortune they stand to gain from these people in the market. So it's sort of hindering the progress. But I mean, we don't build countries based on people's emotions and people's feelings on a particular issue. Are they there to do a particular job? Is the job mandated by law? All of these things are the most important things that we have to look at. At the end of the day, remember that these tax force people are being paid 600 cedis a month. So if you don't allow them to do their job and government is government will have to still pay them regardless. So then what's the point? Is it that you are just throwing money away like that? So it's unfortunate that we have to reach this point. We expect that the leadership, really, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, he's been seen to be very proactive since assuming the position. We expect that some orderliness is brought into them, and I don't think resisting these operation task force people in this manner is the best. You could just sense the frustration in their commentary. I think it's a no-no.
I will say that the Greater Accra Regional Minister, since he saw this particular vision, and yesterday I heard an official also saying that some individual in the party, that is the NPP party, especially the Moses Abo gentleman whose name has been mentioned, doesn't really understand the reason for this particular task force. So some engagement must be done.
And education.
People must be educated about what the task force are really meant to do. This is still CNR Extra on Citi TV. You can join us live with your comments and contributions on 0550585832. We are moving straight to another story where the issue of the magistrate court in Nararigu in the northern region has remanded into police custody 12 persons arrested in the involvement of a communal clashes in that particular area. Let's watch it in this video.
The Nalerigu Magistrate Court in Northeast Region has remanded into police custody the 12 persons arrested for their involvement in communal clashes.
The 12 suspects were arrested by the police in Chiraponi during an intelligence-led operation in the area yesterday. The 12 were on the police wanted list for their alleged involvement in the clashes which occurred on July 25, 2022 in the Gbalo and Kupong communities in the Chiraponi district, leading to the burning of 16 houses and the killing of dozens of livestock.
Now, the suspects were charged with conspiracy to commit murder and causing unlawful damage. They are expected to reappear in court on August 31st, 2022.
So communal clashes in any form or way should be condemned. And I think the court has done well by having these people in police custody, some 12 persons arrested. And I think that is a step in the right direction.
Rightly so. Some of these clashes affect the community in ways that we don't even imagine. I would always go back to the Economic Intelligence Unit report, the EIU report on some of these clashes and its effects in the community. They affect investor confidence, they affect productivity at the regional level. So it's unhealthy. And usually you don't think about it in that way. So we expect that cool and calm head to prevail at this point, because it's not. I mean, somebody even died as a result of the clash, and I mean we can't build countries like that. So we expect, like I'm saying, cool heads to prevail, and of course those behind the perpetrators should be made to face the law. Exactly.
So the perpetrators should be made to face the law, and clashes in that area should come to a stop. This is still CNR Extra on Citi TV. Still to come, the Kumasi Traditional Council has called on management of a Kumasi-based Oyerepa FM and TV to render an unqualified apology over comments made by the leader and founder of United Progressive Party on its platform. Please stay with us. We'll be back with more.
Creamy Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
We are grateful for joining us on CNR Extra on Citi TV. My name is Philip Nilati. I'm here with Jude Mensah Dankard. You can still join us with your comments and your contributions on 0550585832. Let's go straight to another story where the Ghana Union of Traders, GUTA, they have called off their planned shop closure on Monday, August 29, because they met the Council of State. Let's watch it in this video.
Ghana Union of Traders Association GUTA has called off its planned shop closure on Monday, August 29, 2022. This was after a meeting with the Council of State. GUTA is unhappy about the continuous depreciation of the cedi and the high cost of doing business in Ghana.
Now, so the news is Sami Wiafe has more.
GUTA members on Monday, August 22nd, 2022, announced it was going to close down all shops in the Central Business District of Accra over what they say is government failure to address the continuous depreciation of the cedi and the high cost of doing business in Ghana. Guta says majority of its members were struggling to stay in business. Thursday's meeting, which was held at the instance of the Council of State, was aimed at trading ideas with Guta members on how best to address their concerns. This was after an earlier meeting with officials of the Finance Ministry and the Bank of Ghana. Chairman of the Council of State, Nana Otuo Sirbo II, told journalists after the meeting that a joint technical committee had been set up with a month working period to look into the concerns of Guta and report to the council.
The settlement is that they are going to call off the strike immediately. There's a joint committee set up by members of the council and their representatives. And the committee has been given 1 month within which to come out with recommendations for implementation. In the meantime, there are some loose-hanging fruits. That is, some issues that could be tackled immediately, and we are going to give it our best shots to have solutions to them immediately before we leave here. And this has been accepted by all members of the council, as well as the leadership and membership of Guta who were present, and they came in their numbers, and we are very happy with the outcome. We have a committee headed by Paco Fianson, a member of our council, who is a big-time trader himself, a big-time businessman, and there are about 10 members on that committee. He is the chairman, and then Guta will send their representatives. But as I speak, I don't know who are coming on behalf of Guta, but it's up to them to send their reps, and we expect the committee to work morning, noon, and night to come up with solutions. After 1 month, we would have diagnosed the issues, remote, past, immediate, and immediate ones, and then give us a course of action to follow and for implementation. And we are going to do that religiously.
President of Guta, Dr. Joseph Obeng, says though Guta members are not happy, they have to call off their planned action. They will work with the Council of State to find lasting solutions to their challenges.
We were to embark on our demonstration, and trust you me, we are going to make a definite statement on Monday. And our members have told us that they didn't even want 1 day and that we should do it for 2 days. Thereafter, the regions were calling for 1 week, and that we were going to follow it up the following week with a closure. So that because our problem is such that we need a solution, and that we need something that will give a pinch to the leadership. And that's what we wanted to do this. We were not going to do this out of malice. So when Council of State, out of its own wisdom, called us, we had earlier been called by the National Security, the Trade Ministry, and then also the Finance Ministry. And then we have had joint meetings and all that, and very interesting discussion were put on. And especially here too, we have been able to engage with a good council coming from our Council of State.
And the meeting was done at the right time, because if you wake up on Monday and you want to go to market to get some things for yourself, maybe you are going to Aboso Kind to buy spare parts, and they wouldn't be working. But I think that now that this engagement, they've had engagement with the Council of State, something has to come out of it so that these people would finally rescind their decision, not saying that they've called it off and they are going to come back, that okay, we are going back on the strike and all that.
I mean, you don't want to be on the bad side of an association that has over 2.5 million members, and I'm referring to the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. I mean, refreshing news, especially when the Council of State is now also seen to be helping in the conversation about the current economic downturn we have in the country. The Minister of State in charge of Finance, Honorable Charles Edubwine, was at that particular program, and he spoke on government interventions to, like they say, resuscitate the economy. Yes. And we understand some 750 Afri-Exim loan facility. It's coming next week. That's just on Monday. And of course, the 1.3 billion Cocoa Board syndicated loan is also in the works. So in total, about some 2 billion Ghana cedi is expected to be pushed into the economy to help make sure that businesses are able to thrive and ensure that there's a turnover really with regards to what's happening in the country right now. But you see, then again, the problem lies. What is government doing aside looking from the capital market for some of these bailouts? Like we've been saying all the time, there need to be a program in place whereby we look at the local opportunities available to help in the restoration of the economy. And for me, I've been saying it all the time. It's about time we start pushing towards production and ensure that we have industries, companies, factories working that will be able to also generate some amount of revenue into the economy, rather than this whole consumption approach government is backing. Take, for instance, all government initiatives, flagship initiatives. They are paying teacher trainees, they are paying NAPCO trainees, and all of these people are just taking money away from there.
It's having a drain on the
budget. So for me, it's important that we start the conversation again. What can we do locally to ensure that we are also able to ensure that production,
that is what we've been preaching for. At least we need local production so that the depreciation of the cedi wouldn't be. That is what the traders are complaining about. Because if you change from cedi to dollar and you're going to purchase something that you could purchase like 5 times, now you can just purchase
and I'm saying
just one.
The expertise of some of the members of the Council of State, we expect them to be pushing for some of these things because these are seasoned people, these are statesmen, these are people who've lived very, let me say, some meaningful lives, and some of them are really solid business moguls. So they understand some of these things better, and we are hoping that they can be pushing some of this advice through the ministry and, of course, to the president.
Okay, so now that government has engaged, or let's say the Council of State have engaged the GUTA members, they should have a final decision, and also their needs and wants should be met. Let's move straight to another story where management of a Kumasi-based Oyerepa FM and TV are expected to render an unqualified apology to the Kumasi Traditional Council for a comment made by the leader and founder of United Progressive Party on their network. Let's watch more in this video.
Kumasi Traditional Council has called on the management of a Kumasi-based radio station and TV station, Oyerepa FM and TV, to render an unqualified apology over comments made by the leader and founder of the United Progressive Party on its platform. The council has also advised management of the station to temporarily halt operations effective Friday, August 26, 2022, until the pending issue is resolved. Now, the founder and the leader of the UPP incur the wrath of the Kumasi Traditional Council following comments he made against chiefs implicating them of aiding illegal mining activities in the Ashanti region. Citi News' Ashanti regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani reports.
Mr. Adai Odike, in a recent interview on Oyerepa FM, accused chiefs within the Ashanti Kingdom of being complicit in aiding illegal mining activities in the Ashanti region. He was also accused of threatening to incite the youth to rise against the chiefs if they fail to play their roles in curbing the illegal mining menace. The comments were, however, described as distasteful and disrespectful by members of the Kumasi Traditional Council. Subsequently, some unknown armed men on Monday raided the Ashanti regional offices of the UPP and caused damage to property. Citi News cannot independently confirm if the alleged attack was linked to Mr. Odike's comments. Police in the Ashanti region is investigating Monday's incident. The management of Oyerepa FM and TV were invited by the council on Thursday to the Menchia Palace as part of its deliberations on comments by Mr. Adai Odike. The Kumasi Traditional Council, led by the Bantamahene Bafo Owusu Amankwetie VI, says the management of the media house will have to render an apology to the chiefs since the comments were made on its platform. And someone see Odike card your pen. I am on a platform money. Na Odike Kasadi and Kuntiminye. Na menya sure say FM station e wo Asante Memua. Ukone also be this ejuma na obema akwa amodi. Every say oti chameti.
And it is Okoya Bibina Asamba, I don't know, Besofa. When you know, Mom finance, and I move by Sua, move by Quatrequa, and it's a Mudijam. If it's Assam, I'm from home, if it's Assam, get to Abi. Naka Bay, and Ka Dibume more draw Yana Nanum Yahua, Yeni Beso, Ya Besom near Tumofo, Ninama. She said, and Nanum Kaino, Ya, Menomo Ya Dreno, Musem, Uncope Dibima, a mood drew, Namon Famana Nanuni. Nasamo per se, Yamus Manu Mohodia, and ne Momo de Rue. Emma Asante, my gun and mine, we are seeing you auntie. Semaphone, into Mopa or Macho. And Nam Senti, some per se, Mention who said, Manyan Hono, and Pimsa, Semiabekan, you know, radio station, no, Muntimimbi.
The Bantamahene says chiefs must not always become the main targets whenever issues of illegal mining are discussed.
Nananum dear, so Kankalam say, Yamamubi. And so be a betran radio, so I know dinner and matter. And another way dinner Sassiama, and another way dinner Sassiama. Nananum to me, Banner, where they to me. Constitution in my to me, and me, Sedgeman. What I say, your power of consent, your power of summons, Nina Jeffrey and said, and you are some here, a bad name to me can be. And once you have your hands, say, minus on town, or be a crocodile, almost sour special security, or more car, or more patrol. Now, when Nana unfunny home country.
Deliberations on the matter will resume at the Menchia Palace on Monday, August 29, 2022.
This is rather unfortunate, and I will urge the management to do what they are expected to do so that they can bounce back to work. Very, very unfortunate.
I get where you're coming from. I mean, and understand where the traditional council is also coming from, especially when they seek to protect the sanctity of the council and the authority. But also, we also have to have in mind that to a very large extent, this country has a constitution that binds all of us and also gives citizens in the country some rights and privileges. So for me, I'm not too sure some of the things or the comments. The traditional council makes reference to the constitution and says that the constitution doesn't give them the authority to be working or be seen to be fighting illegal mining, that is Galamsey. But this same constitution also spells it out clearly. If you go to chapter 12, article 162, 2 of the constitution, where it talks about censorship of the media. Yes. So, I mean, we need to be very careful about some of these things. And like I'm saying, if they are calling for the media house to be shut down right now, doesn't mean that the staff in those in the media organization would stop working. Yes. And will not have money to cater for themselves and their families. So it's sad that it has got into this. But I mean, like we are saying, we expect that some sort of consultations or some sort of meeting will be held between the traditional council and the management, and some finality will be brought to the matter.
I think that the management should and the traditional council should reach an amicable solution to this problem, because like it's being said, when two elephants fight, is the grass that suffers. I'm not sure if this is certainly. I'm not sure if these are two elephants. I'm talking about the money, the workers, like you stated. The workers will also have to go home. So it's also affecting livelihood that people will not be working in their various offices. So just find a solution to this problem. You're still watching CNR Extra on Citi TV. Still to come. Following violent clashes between some members of the University Hall, that is Katanga, and Unity Hall, Kunti at KNUST, the global alumni of the university is urging the management of the university to take decisive action to prevent further occurrences on that campus. Please stay with us. We'll be right back with more.
The majesty of God in itself goes beyond the capacity of human understanding. On Sunday, the 28th of August, 2022, come join Perez Music, MOG, Akese Brimpong, Ife Grace, and all the way from Nigeria, Peter, as we present Glorified, Theme, Splendor, and Majesty. The venue is Victory Bible Church, Headquarters, Awoshi. The time is 5 p.m. Grab a token for 50 Ghana Cedi single, 80 Ghana Cedis double, and 100 Ghana Cedis VIP. Token outlets: Joy FM, Sunny FM, Stood Supermarket, Dansoman, Bachuna Total, and Victory Bible Church Bookshop. Or dial star 365 star 321 hash on all networks to purchase a token. Token online 0209 086 547. This event is powered by Rima City of Worship.
You're welcome back, and many thanks for staying with us. This is still CNR Extra on Citi TV. Before we move to the next story, let's bring you some of the comments we've been receiving. And based on the issue with the Operation Clean Your Frontage or the task force, some comment has come from some of our viewers. And Ebenezer Redu says that because of politics, they want the city to look dirty, and he is saying that because of politics the city shouldn't look dirty, and I think I side with him. Let's move straight to the next story, where alumni of the University of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology are urging management of the institution to find a lasting solution to the problem that happens on that particular campus concerning two rival halls, Katanga and Kunti, whenever there are clashes on that particular campus. Let's watch more in this video.
Following violent clashes between some members of the University Hall, that's Katanga, and Unity Hall, Kunti at the KNUST, the global alumni of the university is urging the management of the university to take decisive action to prevent future occurrences. Speaking to Citi News, the KNUST Global Alumni President, Dr. Kweku Agbeshi, admonished affiliates of the two halls to desist from violent attacks and warned that the alumni would dissociate itself from any old student found engaging in such violent acts. There's more in this report by Citi News' Bureau Chief for the Middle Belt, Edward Opon Mafu.
Many stakeholders have expressed disappointment following the clash between the two rival halls, University Hall and Unity Hall. The clashes led to some students sustaining injuries, while 9 cars were vandalized. So far, the court has remanded 3 persons in connection with the incident. They are 1 alumnus and 2 level 200 students. The Sokoromampo District Court has also issued a bench warrant for the arrest of over 60 students and alumni of KNUST who are currently at large and are alleged to have been involved in the incident. With the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, attracting negative publicity because of such violent clashes over the years between the two rival halls, the global alumni of the university says it is very disappointed about the development. Speaking to Citi News, the global president of the KNUST alumni, Dr. Kweku Agbeshi, called on stakeholders and especially management of the university to work at preventing such condemnable acts.
What happened last week is very unfortunate, uncalled for, a very avoidable situation. But I think we have gotten to a point as a university stakeholders, we need to take a very decisive action to forestall this kind of occurrences. We can't continue to allow our younger kids to engage themselves in this kind of violence. We have told the university community, the university management, to thoroughly investigate what happened, identify the students involved, punish them severely so that it can serve as a deterrent to other students who also want to take this kind of violent path.
He also noted that the alumni is collaborating with the university to help address the issue once and for all. He has been highlighting some measures that can be adopted to help address the challenge.
For the past 1 year or so, we have engaged the leadership of Katanga alumni and Conte alumni to come together to mentor our students, mentor our junior colleagues, to know the values of Katanga and unity. And I must say that all the leadership are committed, and we believe that with the work that we are doing, we will get to a point where this kind of violence will be the things of the past. And we have also started a mentorship program just about 1 month ago. We had one for the final year students. What we plan doing is that now for the first year people, when they come, we will take them through the mentorship program. And then the second, with the final year, we take them through the mentorship program so that they are properly mentored. They are properly led to the values of the university, the values of the halls, so that some miscreants will not come and misguide them. Also, allegedly, some few alumni people who also get back to campus and allegedly mislead them into this kind of violence has to stop, because when they are caught, the alumni will not be at their back. We will allow the law to work, and I believe together we can create a very conducive environment for our students to learn and to become a better people in the future.
A week after the incident, there's still heavy security presence on the university's campus to avert any possible clash.
And I'm excited because since the alumni has gotten into this situation and they are speaking about it, it's going to go a long way to bring solution to this problem. I'm saying this because when the 2 individuals were arrested, we found that one alumni was part of it, someone who completed the year 2000, and he's part of this particular clash on the KNUST campus. So I think that the alumni coming out to indicate that management has to find a decisive action or a solution to this particular problem, I think it's a step in the right direction.
It's definitely a right call, and by no means an association and the alumni themselves. Why am I saying so? Because, like you rightly alluded to, in the past we've seen students or old students of some of these who are being the perpetrators of some of these atrocities in the past. If they are not the perpetrators, and some of them are people who incite students to be doing some of these things. So it's a call in the right direction. And for me, I would urge the Alumni Association to really take in a deep introspection of their members and see ways in which they enable some of these clashes on campuses, yes, and ensure that they put in measures, even as an alumni body, to ensure that their members desist from being involved in one way or the other. So it's a perfect call. But the ultimate responsibility, of course, lies with the university management and, of course, the students themselves. But I've been saying all the time that it's about time we take this very seriously. We make sure that we use this as a stepping stone to ensure that we take some decisive action on it. How are we going to do so? Just make sure that we get one scapegoat out of this particular instance.
But of course, like the police indicated that we should give them ample time to conduct investigations.
It's always
into
like
this
that.
particular issue.
I can just give you 2 instances off head. It's always like that. The police come in, some students are picked up for questioning, then some months later,
nothing happens.
You don't hear about it again. But like I'm saying, in this particular instance, it happened in the University of Ghana, Legon campus first. Yes. Then a week later, KNUST followed suit. So let's use this opportunity to cleanse and clean the system. Just one scapegoat. And even if it involves jail term of that particular culprit, we should go through it thoroughly and ensure that we are not punishing just anybody, but culprits in this instance, because the next time something like this happens, you can't really guarantee what's going to happen. It could be more fatal, it could be more disastrous, so you don't want to get there.
And anytime there is this issue on campus or there are clashes, we have destruction of properties and people's livelihoods and all that.
And innocent students are being surcharged.
But it's a question I'm asking, so who pays for these things at the end of the process?
They surcharge students, and for very innocent students, some of which would have been in lecture hall by the time the classes were going on, will now come back to the hall and realize that
things are destroyed.
Things have been destroyed, and now they all have to bear the brunt with regards to the penalties that's paying for the damages. And it's not fair. It's really not fair if you look at it in that light. And like I'm saying, decisive action needs to be taken. How? You ensure that this particular case is followed through legally and thoroughly, and ensure that the culprits are made to face the law. If you just get this or use this as a precedent, it will go a long way to deter other people. And of course, in the past, I've said that there are two ways you can look at this: the proactive way and, of course, the reactionary way. The reactionary way, you can't do anything about it because it's already happened. But if you want to consider some of the proactive ways university management can begin to look at these things, campus policing is the way to go. Orientation for freshers, not when they've started going for lectures.
Well,
at the beginning,
they should be told of what to do and what. But do you think that they are not being told? Because I think that when they get into the various halls, that is when you have to pick up some traditions and all that in the school or in that particular hall.
To shock you, the thinking of some of these students when they enter the university, they have no idea whatsoever what the core values of some of these halls stand for. But rather, over time, they begin to pick up some of these traits from older students, and of course, some of these old students who still come around the hall. So it's the responsibility of the counseling centers in the various universities and the university management to ensure that these freshers go through a thorough orientation process whereby the core values of the university and the halls are espoused, and ensure that they grasp it, so that in their later stay in the hall, it's always on their mind. But that is not being done to a very large extent. Every year when they take in admission at the University of Ghana, thousands of students come in or sign up for the university. When they do their orientation, you find about 100 or about 200 students just attending, and it's not working. It's also because over time, some of these counseling centers have not been resourced enough to be able to take up some of these challenges and some of these tasks. But like I'm saying, counseling is a very important part.
Very important.
Campus policing is also a very important part. And the last thing is to ensure that we get a scapegoat from some of these classes.
So you are still calling for a scapegoat to be gotten in this situation?
Get these students who are involved. We understand some 62 in Kenya, some 62 other students are on the watch, on the police to want list. And see, by all means, somebody started this, somebody incited this, somebody instigated this. Just find that person.
Find that person, and that is what my colleague here, Jude Duncan, is saying. Now that the Old Students Association have come in to ask the management of KNUST to put in place solutions or measures so that the occurrences on campus do not happen again. Well, that is how we bring an end to today's edition of CNR Extra on Citi TV. I did this with Jude Duncan, and it's been a pleasure having you this morning. My name is Philip Milate. Keep watching Citi TV and join us same time next week.